I think now that you touched upon like how you migrated and the cost increased by a decent amount, why don't you give us tips on how did you optimize those costs as well, right? I think you have done enough optimizations of cloud cost, right? Take us through in terms of how did you do those things.
Right, Satya. So what happens as you grow up? You have There are two, three things which you have to be mindful of. One, at the team level, there has to be certain governance in place.
Mhm.
Because at this scale, I mean, if I say, if my VP of engineering wants to set up something, and the DevOps head says that okay, there is a cost implication, and if there is no governance mechanism there, the moment you come to know the damage has been done. I'll give you a simple example here. In one of my our subsidiary companies, the DevOps team was enhancing the logging mechanism. So they were
Mhm.
setting up the ELK and other stuff. What we do, so usually what you do, you have your servers running, you use Filebit or something similar. You collect the logs and put it on a server. You use traditional log stash and other stuff, and you put a visualization layer on top of it to save your cost. This is a
Mhm.
this is the normal playbook which every company uses. And what happened there? The team which was working on it, it just collected the logs and just pushed into CloudWatch or something like that.
Okay.
And the moment, and the scale is not much, but we burned down 10 lakh rupees in couple of days.
Wow.
10 lakh
Wow.
rupees in couple of days. So
Wow.
classical learning there, the governance was bypassed. So
Correct.
if
Yeah. Mhm.
it was not discussed that okay, we are putting such thing, because people in the team are aware we have done it at a larger scale and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So why I gave this example, this has happened with me last week only, despite
Oh, okay.
doing this for
Doing
so
all
much of
these. Oh,
doing all
okay.
these things.
Mhm.
So that governance part is very critical. Second thing is, we have to have a view in terms of what all the consumption numbers are. We may use a tool, or we may have a mechanism where we have those thresholds defined. uh, so essentially, it's a typical standard fitment that you provision for the peak, but you keep a eye on your non-peak hours also. That how to do about it, and in terms of also how the business numbers are okay. So I'll give you a simple example in terms of business numbers. So in our business, primarily, if I talk about the shipping business, the peak traffic lies from 11 to 1.
Mhm.
So that is where the entire activity happens.
Yeah.
So if in case there is some sale or any other stuff which is happening, so at this scale, the sellers and even our fulfillment partners, they are able to have that it staggered over a time, so that the same resources are used.
Mhm.
So, but you need to have that visibility in terms of what all instance, be it your storage, be it compute, be it your communication channels, in terms of what is the quantum which you are using and what is the headroom which you want to provision for.
Mhm.
That is one thing. And second, one thing which is evident is essentially, you should be absolutely sure that you will not scale your singular workloads beyond a certain threshold. So for instance, if you are running a simple RDS instance, or say on say R5 4x large instance, and if you are feeling that your R5 4x large instance is not able to take it up, then it is time to revisit your architecture and see that how you can bifurcate it. in terms of components. And same philosophy goes for all the building blocks, be it your caching infrastructure, be it your EC2 instances. uh, we use spots a lot.
Nice.
We use spots a lot. Uh, Spotiness is the thing which we use, and we use it extensively, and all the people should use it. A lot of cost arbitrage is get we get into it. uh, have an eye on your on demand instances. Use RIs or saving plans to the maximum extent. And in order to achieve that, you have to have a hand on your business sizing. So unless you will have a hand on your business sizing, you won't be able to make use of it. And also, when I said about the governance, so that philosophy should percolate in the entire team. Should percolate in the entire team, and of also, because unless until that percolates in the entire team, that discipline. So I gave you the example of 10 lakh rupees in one and
Yeah.
a half 2 days. Because at this scale, the loss quantum is pretty high.
Correct. Yeah.
Pretty high. That is another thing which is there in terms of cost saving. And finally, I have played around with a few of the tools which give you insights, which ready-made insights and recommendations for your infrastructure. And you tend to realize that all okay. So there are two aspects to it, Satya. One, what you do with your inference in terms of your own knowledge, your own judgment, your own
Yeah.
gut feel. That okay, if I have at peak, say, my any of the instances peak going at 60-70% of CPU, I have uh, decent enough headroom left with it.
Yeah.
But because these tools are built on top of underlying decision making and the data which they are fed to, so they are able to, you come to know that okay, there can be an instance where still you have over provisioned, you don't need to.
Correct. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so 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 and there are multiple tools like those which are in the market. And because what happens, you keep on provisioning new workloads, new product based infrastructure, so it has to be a continuous exercise. it it
Correct.
it it is very similar to our security posture, that
Yeah.
it can't be a point in time, it has to be a continuous, it has to be built in your pipeline on your scheme of things.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So those are the stuff which Satya, I think we have to keep in mind. And yes, as a custodian of the tech infrastructure, we have to question each and every dollar which we spend extra. So for instance, if my monthly spend is X dollars, and if my business has grown by say 10% month on month, my infra cost can't grow 10% month on month.
Correct. Yeah.
It can't be linear. It cannot be.
Yeah.
And discipline has to move outside the tech teams also. So for instance, if the product or the business team has conceptualized a particular product, and it is, so end of the day, everything which is conceptualized consumes resources. So that is the money, and that sensitivity has to be propagated to other verticals also. That okay, so for instance, if my CEO thinks about something, and it says that okay, and it costs say $10,000 a month to run that infrastructure, so that is some serious amount of money.
Yeah.
So he needs to be told that okay, your PNL will take a hit of those X amount of dollars. So you better be so it's a combined effort, but it's very similar to driving on a single lane highway in the night. You have to always keep your eyes on the road.